Welcome to Inside Carbondale. This is the podcast that brings you the latest information about projects and events going on in Carbondale. I'm Amy Fox, the city's public relations officer, and I'm joined by Sean Henry, the city's public works director. And there are now just 19 days until the solar eclipse. For months now, the city's been preparing to welcome thousands of visitors to Carbondale, with estimates ranging anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 visitors. One of the major concerns is traffic. So, Sean, how does the city plan to deal with the influx of people?
Well, as you mentioned, Amy, the city's been planning this for well over a year now. The Public Works and Public Safety have been involved with various planning and coordination meetings around, the city and somewhat the state. So we feel we're very prepared to handle the influx of people. Obviously, having such a wide range and guessing how many people may show up here is a challenge, but I believe we're all prepared and that things will go very smoothly.
The city is working very closely with West Bus Service to coordinate shuttle routes throughout Carbondale. Where will those pick-up and drop-off locations be?
Good question. The city council actually just approved a contract for West Bus Service to provide shuttles for us last city council meeting. And the shuttles are going to run just from the parking areas that the city is managing to City Hall. So those parking areas, we have a couple of east side parking areas. One is kind of on the south side of the mall. The other is at Carbondale Community High School, which we made arrangements with those entities to manage, a couple thousand parking spaces in that area. And then we have some west side parking areas, which are located on Oakland Avenue near the cemetery, but it's not in the cemetery. And the entrance to that would be basically at the corner of Ready Mix Road and Oakland Avenue. So buses will run from there continually. They will start at 10 a.m. and run to about 1 a.m., so about 15 hours a day to get people from those remote parking areas to the downtown. The drop-off points will be just City Hall, and then people can disperse from there to various activities in the downtown, whether it's the concerts or the family fun zone or the marketplace, and all of our businesses along South Illinois Avenue and Washington Street and those places. And then we will have some secondary shuttles that we run in cooperation with Jackson County Mass Transit that will run from City Hall to campus events. And those details are still being finalized. But the buses will run pretty regularly, and we're hoping to be able to let people park out and move them in.
What was really the whole idea behind this? Because it involves your staff, manning these areas, so more manpower required. Was it to reduce traffic on the roadways?
Well, it's to reduce traffic somewhat, but also, if we have such a large influx of people, there's not parking in the downtown to accommodate that. We're going to have our regular business needs just from a regular day sometimes are taxing in the downtown. So we wanted to make sure we had plenty of space to provide parking. In all, the city is going to be managing about just shy of 7,000 parking spaces. We are managing some in the downtown as well as kind of premium parking lots. Those would be there at Lincoln Drive and Illinois Avenue, the large lot across from SIU. And there's a lot on East Mill Street at Washington Street, which is also a fairly large lot near the Public Safety Center Police Department. So we'll be managing those two as well in the downtown. All the other parking in the downtown is going to be kind of a 2-hour minimum parking, or maximum parking, I say, so that we can turn over and get people in and out of the businesses to eat and shop and do those kind of things. So these remote areas are more long-term parking, very cost-effective. We're going to do $5 cash or $7 credit. So bring your cards. It'll be easy to get in and out of there.
One thing I do want to point out, people don't have to pay $5 or $7 every time they hop on a shuttle and hop off. It's one cost for the whole day.
Yeah, there's actually no charge for the shuttles. We're just running shuttles between those parking areas. So if you park out there, you can just grab a shuttle whenever they come by. And the shuttles will be clearly labeled which parking lots they're going to. We will have tags in all the lots so that you can put them in your windshield or dash and then take a piece of it with you so hey, I parked in lot A or lot B, or they're also color-coded, So we're doing a lot of things to help people remember where they're parking at.
Will there be wayfinding signs so people know how to access each parking lot?
Yes, there will be. We'll have a lot of message boards around town. Those will start going up the week or so, the week prior to the eclipse. We'll also have directional signs, just like you would for anything else, that says, Eclipse parking lot A is this way, B is this way, red light, green light, etc. Those will be going up in the next few weeks, just so staff has time to get everything done. And it's pretty easy to get to the parking lots. The ones on the east side of the road, people just need to go down Giant City Road, and you can enter on East Mall Drive to get to the parking that is at the mall. You can enter right into the Carbondale Community High School lots from Giant City Road as well. All of our west side lots are accessed off North Illinois Avenue and Ready Mix Road, and then we've got a couple lots out there, but we'll be splitting traffic to those. So we've tried to make the routes very simple to get to, so the visitors from out of town should be able to find them very quickly, and visitors who are in town or perhaps just outside of the city who are coming in will know exactly where these areas are at.
And as you mentioned, there are a lot of activities going on in the greater downtown area. Will there be any road closures? That's a very popular question we get asked all the time.
That is a good question. The only road closure is going to be on Washington Street, where we're going to have our concert venue, Shadow Fest. So Washington Street will be closed between Main Street and Walnut Street. There are no other street closures in town. We don't anticipate having any other street closures in town. It's really important that we leave as many roads open as we can to just facilitate traffic, especially for those who are coming in from out of town. When you go closing random streets or main streets, main thoroughfares, so to speak, it really causes problems and trauma for those kind of folks trying to get somewhere. Additionally, we did talk with the state police and the Illinois Department of Transportation about other street closures, and everybody had decided that was not in the interest, and we would have to get their permission to do that, and we weren't going to get that. So,
are there any backup plans in place in case traffic does get too heavy, especially on those main roads?
On the main roads, we have staff that will be available to go out and help direct traffic, both public works and public safety if need be. Most of the time, when you leave it to the signal lights to handle stuff, it'll work. You may have some delays like you do, in the larger cities, and hopefully we don't get to the point of driving in and out of Chicago, at rush hour. But it might, and if it does, we just ask for people's patience, because the roads can only hold so many cars no matter what you do.
And there will also be heavy foot traffic throughout the greater downtown area. How does the city plan to handle that?
Well, we've got our new streetscape project is on schedule to be complete by the Eclipse, hopefully 100%. We've got our fingers crossed. But we do have, the new bike pedestrian path in the downtown that actually runs from the Shadow Fest area all the way south to where our two big parking areas are in the downtown. I would encourage people to use that. You stay off the road. It's a nice wide path, and you can get to pretty well everywhere you need to go on that path. As well as we've got sidewalks. We encourage people to be orderly and respectful of everybody and stay on the sidewalks and of course pick up litter and things as they're going. We're going to have litter patrols out too, but we're really looking for the public's cooperation and having a really nice, peaceful, special event.
And if people do have to be on the roads Eclipse weekend, especially Monday, August the 21st, what would be your best piece of advice? Obviously, we can't predict how many people are going to be here and when they're all going to be using Route 13 or US 51, but what would be the biggest message to maybe the local residents who have to get to work or have to go to a doctor appointment?
I think the biggest message is if you have appointments to make those days, places to be, just plan ahead. Take a look. If there are traffic issues, those are going to be posted, whether on the website or via some radio announcements and things. So listen out for those. Take some extra time in your day. Don't plan to get across town in 10 minutes. If you've got to go from one side to the other, you probably ought to plan ahead and add some extra time into that. There are many businesses. I think all the schools are closed that day. So there's probably not a lot of activity, but undoubtedly there'll be some people that need to get out. One of my recommendations to our local residents would be, get out the week prior to the eclipse, get your staple items purchased, fill up your tanks with gas so you don't have to worry about going out and doing those routine things over the weekend. Give yourself a break. It's also hot in August, so you may not want to be out doing those things. One thing to keep in mind is, Eclipse weekend is also SIU student move-in weekend, and they're going to be moving in a little bit earlier in the week, but we're also going to have, our new students and returning students here going to the stores to buy food and stuff as well. So for our local residents, I would suggest the weekend before the eclipse, get out, or that Monday or Tuesday, get everything you need for the week and plan ahead, and then you won't have to worry about it.
Right. And if people do have questions or concerns about the parking and about navigating the city come Eclipse weekend, who should they contact? Is there a website they can go to find this information?
There is the CarbondaleEclipse.org website, and then also the city has an Eclipse hotline that they can call anytime now or to then. That number is 618-967-5220. And you should be able to get a hold of a person at that line about any time, and they'll do their best to answer your questions.
And how are you guys feeling? Just a couple weeks out from Eclipse weekend, a lot of planning and preparation has went into this.
We're feeling good about it. A lot of staff is ready for it to be here and done. I can't deny that. But we've done a lot of work this summer. The public works crews have been super ultra busy getting the downtown and the city in shape. We've got painted a lot of traffic signal poles, done all our crosswalk markings.
Seen a lot of the crew out on the weekend as well.
We've got guys and gals have been working 7 days a week for a couple months now, working on putting our best foot forward for this event so that we can show the world what we are here. This is a great opportunity for us to showcase Carbondale and showcase how warm and welcoming we are. And I would encourage all our citizens and businesses and everybody to put their best face on. There's good chance there may be some frustrating times, but hey, let's all smile, show how good we are here and how hospitable Southern Illinois is.
And is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe I forgot to ask you. I know there's a lot of stuff to cover.
There's a lot of wheels turning, getting ready for the
a lot
eclipse.
of moving parts, and it takes a community to rally behind. And
it sure does. And like I said, there's a lot of men and women been working very hard to put everything together so this goes off smoothly. Committees have been meeting on campus in the city and other places for some of them almost 2 years now in preparation for this. We're going to have a lot of high-profile things in town. Undoubtedly, we will have probably every national media outlet here in Carbondale. NASA is going to be here doing their primary broadcast and webcast from the city of Carbondale for the entire world. It's going to be a really special event, and I hope everybody comes out and wants to be a part of it in however they can. And remember to take some time on Monday to set aside and be still and view the eclipse. The eclipse happens a little bit after 1 o'clock. Total darkness will last for about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. But the entire eclipse, from kind of partial to the end is about 4 hours. So, somewhere in the mid-morning range to mid-afternoon. So in that whole timeline, you'll be able to view the eclipse in different stages. The most important thing about that is making sure you use eye protection. And there are eclipse glasses available from all kinds of resources in town. Lots of businesses have them for sale at very reasonable cost. There's probably some places giving them away as well. Make sure you get out and this week, next week, get some eclipse glasses for you and your family or visitors that are coming to town.
Sunglasses will not work.
Sunglasses do not work. Under no circumstance look at the sun without a pair of eclipse glasses on. The only moment you can do that is under total darkness, and that is a very small window inside of the eclipse event itself. So anybody has questions about that, again, we've got information on the Eclipse website the city has.
Also, NASA has some good information out there as well.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going to bring up next, is NASA has a wealth of information about protecting yourself and your eyes. And, it only takes a fraction of a second to damage your eyes, and it's a very serious thing that we hope everybody knows to have those glasses on.
Right. And another question that's come up a lot is street lights during the eclipse. Will those be off? Will those be on? Or does it really depend on what area we're talking?
95% or more of the streetlights in town are controlled by photocells that sit on top of each streetlight. Mm-hmm. There are thousands of streetlights in town. There is no way to actually go turn those off, no feasible manner to do that, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. In the downtown, we have streetlights that are controlled by the city. And those are circuited like you would your house, mm-hmm. where we can go flip a switch and turn off large expanses of those. Mm-hmm. So the lights along Illinois Avenue, area lights in the central downtown, those things that we control will be off, but the street lights in your neighborhood will still be on. Now, one of the things to consider there is, total darkness is going to happen real fast in the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds, so those lights won't be on right when it goes dark. It does take some time for them to warm up. They will probably be on by the time the eclipse is over, but you're going to have some time in total darkness before those kick on. But again, any businesses and houses that have the dusted on lights, all those are going to come on, as they normally would when that, sometimes a rainy day they come on at your home in different places. So businesses and homes, you can control those yourself, hopefully, but unfortunately we can't get all the actual streetlights in the neighborhoods off.
NASA will be streaming live as well. So if you do have that light situation going on outside your property, you can always log on to the computer and check out the live stream as well.
You can do that as well. And one of the things you may have talked about in some other information is, eclipse photography. Mm-hmm. And there is some information on the websites about eclipse photography, but a lot of the people, and I think NASA would recommend this too, is don't bother trying to do that yourself because you're going to miss it. Mm-hmm. If you want to enjoy this experience, get your glasses on, watch it happen, and then there will be thousands of pictures you can go find afterwards.
Leave it to the professionals on the photography.
Leave it to the professionals. Otherwise, if you're trying to do it, you may miss what's happening. And this is just a once-in-a-lifetime event that's going to occur twice here in Carbondale.
7 years later,
that's
2024.
Right.
Get excited.
We're the only place in the United States, really, that it's going to come through here again in 7 years, so in April 2024. Pretty neat.
Lots of good information. Thanks so much for joining us, Sean.
Oh, you're welcome.
We hope you all will join us next time for another episode of Inside Carbondale. Have a great day. If you have feedback or have ideas for future podcasts, feel free to email me at afox@explorecarbondale.com.